You probably were.
Yeah, it was shortly after we mentioned a Monkey Man. Let's not mention Monkey Man directly.
I
Let's,
have a bad time on YouTube. I mean, the first time I went on Jim's podcast, they kicked us off after I mentioned something. I don't even know.
I have the same problem whenever I'm talking to Jim, so you are in good company. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go and just pretend like we started the show again, but not really. We're just gonna, I hopefully we'll be able to splice and dice. I'm not hitting record at all because I don't want to put any more on my PC than I can put on it right now. And it's just
So it won't be streaming on YouTube. Is that what you're saying?
no. It should. It should be streaming on YouTube right now. Let me go and double check, and make sure. But it should be streaming on YouTube.
Okay.
I gotta find out where my little things are here. There we go. I'll tell you in just a
I see it
second.
now.
Yep. Everybody's starting to connect again, which is good. And instead of, yep. All right, we are on. Yes, I see us on the streaming stuff, but they're still having issues with getting us on Tiger. So I will make sure to download this and upload it later. Hopefully.
Okay.
It is what it is. I mean, this is the world we live in, and unfortunately,
I know, it's insane.
yeah. And I know that the Tiger Network is definitely getting some issues and some blowback on having a new network and not wanting to have it identify with Restream, and it's just been kooky kind of stuff. But what's so
Well, I mean,
amazing?
that's why it's so difficult to start a video platform. It's because there's so many kinks that have to be worked out. I mean, that's why YouTube was able to grow to what it is, because none of the other ones, can really get it together like YouTube was able to.
Right.
Probably because YouTube has, billions of dollars in backing and.
Back pocket money. But I have to be careful on what I say as well. All right, so I've got your website up, and letting people know that I'm not going to go and move it around like I did last time. It's like, okay, what did I do? What did I do? I pointed out some stuff that was on sale. So in the room is actually there's a slideshow of some of the merchandise that's for sale. And if you want to go and check it out yourself, you can go to P, the number 2, P, and then printing.com to go and check it out. And he's got some great stuff. I'm just letting you know that right now. And you have a very creative eye on a lot of the stuff that you have. Just so that you know.
Yeah.
Very, very. You definitely found God's calling for you.
I definitely did. I mean, I really do feel that way. When I look back on my past, like when I was in high school, I was like so obsessed with Photoshop and doing all this stuff, and I feel like I let society push me into another direction that I was never meant to go down.
Right.
And then once I found the Q movement, then I don't know. It's almost
We're
like
gonna
I
say
found what I
those
was
guys.
supposed to do.
We're gonna say those.
Yeah, I don't even
guys.
know. I'm so bad at censoring my speech. Like, I don't go on YouTube. I usually, when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm ranting to someone that I know.
I
And I'm
gotcha.
just, I don't censor anything. And it's very difficult. I kind of paused right before I said that, and I was like, yeah. It's not easy
Absolutely.
these days.
I get it. I get it very much so. And I want to let folks know that Al, I got a chance to meet his significant other before we got on the air. Beautiful, 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 beautiful people. This is so awesome that I'm able to talk to you and you're able to tell folks about your stuff. And I do see some of that.
She's a beautiful spirit more than anything. I mean, that's what drew me to her. I met her, and it was just like she projects all this positivity and like just love. I mean, you should see her around children. Like they flock to her because it's almost like society is trying to drain children of their souls, and then they meet her and they're like, "Oh, her name's Gladys." They're like, "Oh, Gladys, like can we please be around you?" You know, it's like it's so weird. I've never seen anything like it. Children specifically just love being around her. It's like because they feel like the positive emotions and just everything that her spirit is.
Right.
It's like children sense that. That's why they want to be around her, and it's just crazy.
And it's awesome is what it is. And
It really is.
I'm like I'm trying to go and open up one more window. I'm going
Good luck with that.
fingers crossed. And that's just so that I can see the chat room if there's any questions and stuff. I want to be able to go and ask them because it's too tiny for me to look at
Well,
on my OBS.
I mean, I see the chat on YouTube, and it started a different stream, so I feel like people might be stuck in the other stream. Because I mean, I was still on this previous stream, and it kind of had a frozen window to it.
And it eventually stopped because I was watching it on my phone, waiting for my computer to boot back up. I'm like, come on already, you know? But I had to hard boot it, which means I totally crashed it. It went black screen on me. And at least it's not blue screen. Blue screen is of death, you know? There's not really much coming back from a blue screen most of the time. So I'm going to write in the chat right fast. Hey, guys. Any questions? Okay, and there we go. Am I a bot now? Yes. Yes, Miss B, you are a bot now.
That was one thing. I always loved how they just call all of us Russian bots. It always cracked me up. It's like, it's all projection. So they're using a ton of bots. So they have to project that the other narrative being pushed out there is Russian bots. So
Oh yeah, we went from nothing. There's no anything, don't look here, look over there, that kind of thing. And now that there's actually some genuine kind of proof out there for a son who's in a lot of trouble from a computer, now the narrative is, this is all Russia, Russia, Russia again, I'm like, really? Can't you come up with something new and spicy? I'm like, I don't get it.
No. Like, I mean, I've been in this whole movement from the beginning. I remember very early on, we were all pushing the certain hashtags on Twitter, right?
Yep.
And I don't even know if I should say the hashtag.
No, don't say it. I know which one it is. Yeah, that's
yeah. It was
that's
like one
what's so
hashtag made
bad.
it to the trending list. And
What?
one hashtag made it to the trending list, and
Yeah.
I received one of those emails that was like, "You have fallen for a Russian propaganda campaign." Like, and then Adam Schiff came out and said like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's Russian bots pushing certain things on the internet."
He's
it's like when you're a
recently
part of
brought
those
it up
things-
again. He brought it up again, and I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, yes, it was the meeting about those guys, okay, and the what we could do to keep those guys from speaking, and pretty much, and it's like, oh, we welcomed our Republican, brothers and sisters, for another word, to join us on this virtual meeting that they were having. If you haven't seen the virtual meeting, you need to see it because it's like,
I was enraged.
Oh, yeah.
The entire time.
I was
It
sitting
drove
there
me
going, "Are you
insane.
kidding me? Really? This is the best that you can do?"
Oh my god, it was pathetic. Honestly, it was pathetic. They had 4 people that were like the experts,
Yeah.
and I'm like, where did they pull these people from? I mean, they were
From the
like,
street.
yeah. I was watching that in the room, and I kept running out after watching it because almost every line that was said, I had to go tell my girlfriend, like,
Yeah.
look what they're saying. Like, this is,
Yes.
It was one of the most infuriating things I've watched in a long time, and just everything was a lie. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like when you're in the middle of all of this and you see the lies, it's just so infuriating sometimes.
It is, and you have to really use that God discernment to calm yourself down and armor up, because it is a spiritual warfare that's going
Very
on,
true.
very much so. And the one thing that got me through it is I'm sitting there going, okay, remember, focus, Night Owl News. Let's jot some notes down. Let's go through this kind of thing. But there is something about shifty shift, as they say.
Okay.
There's something very, very not right with him. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Here's my impersonation.
Yeah, I don't even know how you get like your eyes to naturally be like that.
Yeah.
'Cause there's like AOC. There's other ones that are like that too. It's like they're bulging out of their head.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't met anyone in my personal life that even like looks like that. So it's just
No.
where do they find these?
Yeah, I don't. Well, we're supposed to enjoy the show, and remember, this is a lot of
I
this
enjoy it.
stuff is so matches up with. The other day, I went and put a bunch of movie trailers together. Some of them I would not even put together to share because they're just so, nah, don't want to even go there. But they are so about now, about what we're going through. And there's a couple war movies that are coming out next year too. So it's like, oh Lord.
Have you seen the Amazon Prime show Utopia?
I have not. My
Because
yeah.
they lay out this entire pandemic in that show. I mean, it is crazy the stuff they put in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the real stuff that's going on. That show told more truth about this event than the media has told. I mean, it's just insane.
Oh, the media is making us all out to be crazy people, cult members. I mean, my son, I've said this before. He called me up and he goes, "So, Mom, you remember this cult? You've been telling me about this QAAA, yeah." And I said that for a reason, because I know what keywords really slow down and drop my frames. Boom, boom. Sorry. But yeah, Bug Eyes, Psycho. I see the chat room for sure, but he did. He literally thought I was in a cult, and I have to constantly remind him. It's like, look, okay, think about it this way. Here's A, here's B. Why do you think that they're pointing us in the direction of C so we don't see A and B? We're not supposed to look over there. We're supposed to be, sheeple. That's what we're supposed to be, and that's not who I am. I'm awake. And you can't go back to sleep once you're awake.
No, I can't. I wish I could go back to sleep. It would make everything so much easier on me, It's like, let me tell you a little bit about my experience. Like, when I started printing this stuff and the first wave of printing shirts for Jim and the website, like, there was a ton of orders that came in initially. And, it was very hard. I'm doing this all by myself, and it was very difficult. I was trying to get a couple of friends of mine to come in and help me. Right. And then I told them what this was. I was like, yeah, listen, it's this website. It's going to be like the biggest movement ever and all this stuff. And what they did is they Googled it. And then they basically told me they don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's so insanely stressful. I had someone recently tell me, I was in this fantasy football league, and all these friends I've had since high school, like, we're in this group chat, right? I hadn't mentioned a word in this group chat in about 3 years. I've just been in the league. They all talk about football and stuff, and I'm sitting here trying to research things. I'm not even caring about football. I just kind of did it to be with them.
Right.
And then once the coronavirus hit, they started talking about the coronavirus. So then I started interjecting what I thought was going on, and they were all like, "Oh, you're crazy," whatever. And then I told them, I was like, "Yeah, if you don't, I'll stop texting here because I know they were annoyed by me texting all this stuff or whatever. I was like, you can just, here's my Twitter account. Like, I print shirts for this website. That's where a certain anonymous person posts, and then someone Googled it, never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Googles it, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, it's so scary that you're working for these people."
Yeah.
And I was just like, it has been the most frustrating experience. It's like even my parents and like everyone, it's very difficult for people to understand what's going on, especially with this movement.
I think that a lot of times certain people tolerate me. Like family members, they tolerate me. It's like she's the crazy squirrel lady, just let her talk, she'll shut up. Just let her talk, she'll be okay. And I'm like, but you guys got to open your eyes. And there's been a lot of people that I've said to them, I'm like, you have been in that position where at 4:00 it's news time, and you sit there and you're watching the television, lie being the word, from 4 until it ends. And what's that, 7:00 the news ends when you get the national news or whatever. And then, you can't go to bed until you watch the weather on the news at 11:00. I'm like, and then you get up and you're having a cup of coffee and you're watching the news and you're watching it at noon. It's like you're being brainwashed. You are openly, God says for us to mind our eye holes, our ear holes, and especially our mouth, and if you don't pay attention, you're letting this come right in. You're letting it upset your peace.
Yeah, it's like you said. I mean, they call it television. It's like tell a vision of reality, and then they call it programming. It's like they tell you what it is right out in front. They're programming you. They're telling you a vision of the reality they want you to think about, or they want you to see. And it's like, it's infuriating. It's the most infuriating thing to me is like having followed all this and understanding what's going on. Like trying to talk to people that don't get it, and
now we have to be very
try to
patient.
Break it down. And
we got to be patient because there's going to come that time. We are in it right now. We're in it right now. We are so far in it that people don't understand that we're in it. You know what I mean? It's like,
completely.
They have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're like, "Oh no, this isn't that now. This is it." I'm like, hello, do you not see what's going on? We had a lot of people that were big accounts that were taken down. But they pushed the limit. They knew that this was coming. Those guys said, this is coming. You gotta pay attention. And they got a little, they got a little.
Once YouTube gets a big boot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there was a lot of accounts that I saw that got the boot that were just infuriated. Like, how could they do this? And I'm like, well, a certain Anon has been telling us this is coming for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
and when you talk calmly to them, it's like they can't believe you can be calm at this moment. How can you be calm? It's like, because I can be calm because I have peace beyond all understanding. You guys are, and a lot of people, and I don't want to call any names, but a lot of people, they put that, they put the board ahead of the Lord. Okay? And they got lost in it. They got lost in it. And, God tells us he's first, he's foremost. That's it. You don't put anything before him. And we're going to fall on our butts when we do. So, I mean, that's my take on it. Like I said, I'm not going to call out any names because there's enough people calling out names. And I'm like, but a lot of people were putting all their eggs in one basket. Quitting their jobs and getting in debt because, oh, look, all this. what is it that messes us up? The love of money. That will
Yeah,
mess
it's
you
greed.
up in a heartbeat. So,
Yeah, and that's what's like I only want to be safe and at ease in my own personal life. It's like I just don't want to have to worry about bills and all these different things because I mean all that stuff does cause a lot of worry.
yeah.
But you see a lot of these people that they want like to be flashy with their money almost.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want that. I just want to, have my girl be, not have to work as much and just different things like that.
Right.
Just so we can have a nice, easy, calm life. Because I mean, the way I look at this world now, and sorry, yeah, it's so hard for me to filter my
Those
speech.
guys.
Those people. But understanding what's going on, it's like the way I see this world now. It's like, cute.
That's it.
Let's call him the Anon. He let me understand that we are watching a movie, right?
Yeah.
It is God's movie,
Yes.
and we just happen to be in the finale. That's really the way I see it, because this little cult of people that has been ruling things in the background for so many years, we just happen to be lucky enough to live in the moment where we get to see the conclusion. That's like really the way I look at it right now. And it's like Earth is this spiritual breeding ground where there's spirits or whatever you want to call it, souls being what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're being bred in this realm, and you just kind of have to understand that. A lot of people just get caught up in the just small little things in this world, like money, greed, whatever.
Right.
That they think like if I have that in this life, then I'll be happy, and it's not the point. It's like it's getting your mind to the point where you can live in a peaceful, eternal life.
Yes.
And
it's not about this. We're storing up our treasures for heaven. That's what it's all about. And if we're not in tune, meaning if we're not praying, if we're not talking, if we're not, staying right on that straight and narrow path that is very, very small, and we're able to go and say, Lord, I'm sorry, my mind went somewhere where it shouldn't have gone. Even those little moments, he wants us to be his friend, and he wants to be our best friend, meaning we go to him before we go to anybody else. Take it to the throne instead of taking it to the phone. You know what I mean? You can after you take it to him, then you can take it to the phone and bounce things off of your best friend or your significant other. But we have to keep that focus there. And I know I'm beating the Bible right now. Sorry guys, but that's who I am. When I get
when I started down this whole journey, like I was not religious whatsoever. I just wasn't. And I always tried to understand this life and understand the world and everything. And it's very hard, because you look at the media and then you look at the elites and you think like, oh, the elites, they know what's really going on, so they'll probably tell, if you study what they're saying, then you can try to kind of try to figure it out from there. But they're all lying.
They're nuttier than food cakes. They're back poop crazy.
Yeah. Well, they're on the other side. They're worshiping.
Yes.
The fallen one, Moloch. They've fallen in with corruption and greed and all this other stuff. And that's not what this life is about. It's about, like I said, it's a breeding ground for souls, and God only accepts the souls that are there, that are mentally there. And
well, I believe, and this is where I'm at. I believe that we are never too far from God's grace, because Jesus, he suffered a horrible death for our sins. Okay? And I believe even if it's in somebody's last dying breath, you know, and as you know as well as I know, that every time we have come across a moment or even been with somebody who said, oh, I don't believe in God, but they're about to go and hit another car. Oh, Jesus. What do they say first? Oh, Lord. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. That is a powerful thing that they cry out to Him,
True.
even though they claim they don't know Him. You know? So those are moments that you sit there and go, okay. Or, you know, I've seen people who have been, you know, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Him. I don't, you know, it's what we have now, and that's all it is. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on one second. Oh, she hung up.
No, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, I was there 3 or 4 years ago. You know, I wasn't a bad person or anything, but like I said, I was trying to figure out what was going on in this life, and the elites project that there is no God. I mean, that's really what they do. You know, a lot of them claim to be atheists. You know, now I realize they're not atheists. They're something else.
Yeah.
Luciferian, whatever you want to call it. And that was really the most eye-opening thing for me. That's why I feel like, honestly, God brought me into this Q movement so I could understand. Because I was always someone that needed to understand to get there, you know? And yeah, I mean, the way I try to explain it to people, I'm like, you think Trump is bad? Like, his name is literally Trump. Yeah. It's like he is trumping this entire, you know, evil system that we live in. It's like, it's the perfect story for humanity. Like, that's really the way I look at it at this point. And
it's amazing that so many people are where they are, and I look at it like this, and I've said this before. We are put on this earth, and we're a tightly woven basket. We meet people that we would have never met. I mean, think about it. What are the odds of me actually meeting you? What are those odds? Or Thunder Down Under, she just got into the room. She's over in Australia. What are the odds? There's no coincidence. God puts us in each other's lives for His purpose and His plan, and I do believe that there's going to be people they already have TDS. Can you imagine what's going to happen when they start finding out that their idols in Hollywood were not their, you know, they're going to lose their mind.
Believe me, I mean, I worked in a hospital for 8 years before I started all this T-shirt printing stuff. Mm-hmm. And you know, I've always been going down the crazy rabbit holes. Everyone thought I was nuts, you know, but they still love working with me because I made them laugh. You know, I found that a sense of humor is like one of the greatest things to get through to people with.
Yes.
Because, you know, you can make a joke about something, make it funny, and then they laugh, and it doesn't seem so divisive and like you're attacking them.
Yes.
And yeah, and so I was always like that, and for years I would just be talking about a lot of stuff, especially once, you know, our favorite Anon started posting. I would be talking about all this stuff with all of them. I didn't really care that they thought I was crazy or whatever. I just always kind of had faith that, like, our side would be the side that would be the victors in the end. Mm-hmm. But see, all these people in the hospital, it was all these nurses, and they thought I was crazy for years, like absolutely nuts. And then once COVID started, I remember at the very beginning of COVID, I said, it's only a matter of time before Tom Hanks gets it. I said that like day one when all this stuff started. And then like a week later, it was like, Tom Hanks is in Australia with COVID. And all these nurses were looking at me like, how did you know that? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, just because I know what he's involved with. And I just assumed that, you know,
Right.
he would get it or die from it or something. I don't know, but I don't know.
We're gonna
Now
call
they're
it,
hearing
we're gonna call
what
it the
I've said in the
Rona.
past. And
We're gonna call it the
what's that?
Rona. We're gonna call it the Rona.
The,
The Rona. That's
yeah, the
that's
Rona.
the word
Honestly,
because
that is
yeah.
what I call it normally, but it's so crazy that you can't even talk about it. Everyone,
I know. It's crazy. It is crazy.
everyone's talking.
It is a very interesting time that we're living in right now. And you know what? I want you to stick around while I do, because I'm looking at the clock going, oh man, I haven't even started the Night Owl News, and everybody's like, you know, they're having their conversation, which is really cool because it's all we're being broadcast on Twitch TV, D Live, Periscope, and 2 YouTube channels. And then I'll go and mix this down to put it on the other platform after the show. So, but I haven't even begun to hit some of the stuff, and I spent hours today. So I need to go and do this and do that. And there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go backwards. Where's that? Where's that? Ah, there it is. Hang on one second. I got to move some windows around. So I'm going to be looking.
I just realized my phone's running low, so I need to plug it in. Give me just a second here.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Everybody who is in the chat room, I want to say thank you so much for tolerating the technical difficulties that we had earlier. It's been crazy. My computer totally crashed. I could not make it do anything. And Ducky's sister, thank you. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, patroness. And we've got Thunder Down Under. I know I saw Uncle Bop Bones in here. And there's a couple other people that are who are normally here. And I thank you for being here. So we're going to get started with the Night Owl News. And with me is Al from P2P Printing. And you will be able to go and see his little slideshow that's going up here. The stuff that he has. And you should check it out as well. He's got some that's in the background there as he's plugging up his cell phone. But we are going to get started in doing this. And I want to make sure that I have this over so we can do this. And I have to get everything arranged because I'm doing this on OBS. Come on. Come on. I can do this. I can do this. Yes, I can. All right. So, move this a little bit. There we go. Tonight, the winner from last night was Patroness. Yay, everybody. Yay, yay, yay. Give her a high five. Let her know. Lots of love. And somebody will be picked for tonight as well. So make sure you just let me know if you want to be a part of it. I usually go and jot down who's in the chat room, and then I find a winner at the end of the show by doing the random numbers. So there you go. All right. After the show, this link right here is going to be available for all of us to go and join in the chat. And we'll see how late that's going to be because, well, we got a late start. So, those guys, we know who those guys are. Sir Patrick Mack coined that term, and I'm just borrowing it. I am not going to take credit for it, except for to say I'm using it, and thank you very much for sharing it with us. So, as I go to those guys' site, we're going to see whether or not, oh my goodness, 7 days now. 7 days. I do believe that we might be in that 10-day period. Could be wrong, but we're awful close right now because those guys have been dark for 7 days. We're going to continue on. Donald Trump, he shared something earlier, and that was, so it turns out that the wise guy promoted as anonymous by the @ New York Times name Miles Taylor, who I never even heard of, was only a little known staffer. I love him. He is just such a troll. He really is, but in a good way. In a good way. He scammed at CNN, lied to Anderson Cooper, and got a job there. And he finishes it off by saying he also worked at all places, Googly Goo. Can you believe that? Kawinky dink? I think not. They're all tied together, just saying. This particular picture that came up, I am going to get it bigger so you can see it. But it hit me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. Do you notice this? And then Vibin. These were t-shirts. Hang on one second. It says Trump bought us hats and t-shirts for all. Okay? 45, 46, 47. That one sort of blew me away. I was like, oh yeah, look at that. And I did say to Tammy online that I was going to share that and give her credit for it, because I noticed the two here, 45 and 46, but I sure didn't notice the 47. So I think that's really cool, and I thank you very much, Tammy, if you were able to make it through everything. I appreciate you very much so. Uncle Bones just laughing away. He is my permanent bot dude. Love Uncle Bones. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. All right. Sounds a bit like Panic to me. And this was Melissa Tate, Michael Moore. I don't know if you guys saw this interview. I'm not going to make you be tortured through it. But if you go to dstevens.com and download or click on, you'll have the link to be able to go to the Night Owl News and be able to see these links and check them out. But he is all about, there's not very much of a difference in the polls, meaning don't believe the polls that he's 5 points ahead. Make sure to get out there and vote. And I'm like, in 2016, he didn't have a problem with the polls at all. He's like, oh, Hillary, 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 Hillary. And there's no way that Trump can win. Now he's scared. There's some panic going on. Definitely panic going on. But there you go. Okay. And then you have Tom Fitton. This is a 37-minute long video, but he gets into details in regards to the Biden scandal. And no matter who wins on election day, there's going to be an investigation going on. So that is there for you to get. I also have it on my Twitter page, at DStevensVoice. I have it where it automatically does its thing at midnight. So that way you can go. Yes, panic, panic, panic for sure. This one right here is Thomas Paine writes, FBI Director Wray profited from HB's illegal China, Russia kickback thing. And they covered up HB's laptop, meaning they knew all about it, but they covered it up. This is going to be interesting to find out a little bit more on that. So, but I'm going to keep my eyes open. Golf legend Jack Nicklaus endorsed Trump for re-election, calls him more diverse than any president he's seen. I'm going to take a moment right now because my ears are ringing. Okay. I live close to a military post. Every once in a while, there's some stuff that's going on, and they've been doing heavy artillery today. And sometimes it's like a signal will go through. And sometimes you can actually hear it in my speakers on the computer. So, strange things. They're practicing for something for sure. All right, here you go. This was so funny. I had to go in and do this, but we're going to go to this and let you see it. And I'll read this. Backstepping the truth to fit a political agenda. Surely you can't be serious. And it is, let's just go to it. It's one that I had shared, if it's still available. Da, 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 da. There we go. All right. Notice how, before I even get started here, you notice this logo? It says the political view. Has anybody noticed that before? Usually it just says The View, but now they have The Political View. That was one thing. And I'm not going to I'm not going to force you to listen to Governor Poopy Pants and how he has just made it so that, everything. It's not his fault that people died. It's not his fault that elderly died. It's a conspiracy is what he's saying. So I'm not going to make you listen to it, but you can find it in that link. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it in the chat room. I'm going to get
Can I say something about Cuomo real fast?
Yes, please do.
I love how he wrote a book.
Yeah.
In the middle of this pandemic, he somehow writes a book in 3 months and puts it out, and it's just like all projecting what he wants people to think how great a job he did. It's just totally insane.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't believe these people can get away with it.
He doesn't have a clue. He really doesn't. There's some stuff that's been going on. I can't remember the guy's name. His last name's Tucker, but not the Tucker, the news Tucker. This guy's running for Congress, I believe, or some kind of political. He's in that area, and he had some videos that I can't go and share because of the new policies. So, but off we go to the next one. I will play this one. Breaking boom. We have a verbal confession of HB. Listen. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I am going to play that for sure. For sure. All right, here we go. Okay, why is it not playing? Hang on. Why would it not be playing? That's the next thing. Oh, let me look here. Doo-doo. Nope, it's not muted. This happened to me before. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Hang on here. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that. Hang on. I have to check the settings to see whether or not I can get it to work, and it may or may not do it. Audio. Alright. Oh, I know why. Okay, hang on here. We are going to go... Maybe, maybe not. I may not be able to play the video after all. We'll find out in just a second.
Steve Bannon has been looking rougher and rougher as the days have gone on.
I know, right? Well, I guess I'm not going to be able to play the video because for whatever reason I can't get my audio to work. It may be because I'm doing the Discord thing. But it's a great... I put the link in the chat. So you guys, if you want to go in and check it out, all the links. Anytime I do stuff like this, I make sure to put a link to my source. And we've got quite a few people in here. Thank you guys for going and coming in. I apologize to not be able to have audio with some of these videos and stuff tonight, but that's okay. Hey, we're on the air. That is the most important thing. We got knocked off early, but we're here now. All right, Patriot Rod Steel. Headlines. Those guys is a part of the new... what? Okay, I remember this one. Part of the new internet system being put online. 564 satellites. 564 satellites put up by SpaceX. It can't be hacked and is scheduled to be free to the public. At Real Donald Trump's assault on big tech media censorship. It's going to be an interesting thing. I wasn't really able to find anything else on that, so I'm hoping that that is right, and that would be a wonderful thing. If anybody has heard anything about it, please do share that information. But That's pretty interesting stuff right there.
Yeah, I've always been under the impression that, because SpaceX is working with the military on this Starlink satellite system,
Mm-hmm.
and currently the deep state, or whatever you want to call them, kind of controls the internet we have now.
Yes.
And I always just thought they were going to just at some point switch over.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now
I
I
mean, I don't know what
actually,
that would be like, but
yeah, I actually saw some particular people that some people follow, some people don't follow, but I do remember hearing about the internet going down and stuff, and my gut has always told me we are too far advanced not to be able to do a rolling, meaning roll this one be out but everything else up, roll this one be out and everything else be up, because I'm going to show you something. I don't know if you've ever checked out this right here before. It's downdetector.com. And if you ever have issues with the internet or phone service or anything like that, and I'm trying to figure out, did you disappear on me? I think you did. Okay. Hopefully he'll call me back. But the internet thing here, when you go to it, you will be able to go and see where things are out. Specifically, go in here. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool.
yeah, it booted me for some reason.
All right, the down detector was what I was talking about. And you can look and you can see when they're having issues, whether it be the internet, and when you go to the live, even if it says that they don't have any issues, like no problems right now, check this out. When you look at the map, there's all kinds of problems going on. And it will even, sometimes, if you get it the right way, sometimes you'll see them over here. Not always. Most of the time it's right here, depending on what you're looking at. Right now, all kinds of stuff going on here. And that's probably where I was having issues, and where we are having issues right now. These over here, always, they're having issues. There's a lot of military bases that are in this vicinity. And I know when I lived in Virginia Beach, they have what's known as military blackouts. When a plane went down, we had no cell phone service. None at all. No phone calls were going out regular way until they got the story straight that they wanted to release. That's just the way it is. But this is a good site to go to if you're having issues. And again, there's all kinds of different it's not just cable or internet. There's a bunch of them that are down here, including Call of Duty, Disney. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that you can go and check into. I had done, when YouTube went down that one time, I went on here and I put it in there and I looked at it, and I remember looking at the map and going, this looks so familiar. At the same time that YouTube was having their issues, you look at both maps and they're almost identical to where our hubs are in the United States, where our internet hubs are. So we were having 2 attacks at one time. So that was pretty, significant. And that's why I got booted off when I was talking to Jim, was because I was very open and honest and showing the pictures. It's like, look at this. Look at this. They didn't want anybody knowing that, because you can't find the exact location. You see an area location of where the internet hubs are. They will not give you an exact location unless you, how do I put this? Unless you know people or have seen files, you don't really know where they're at. There's a general location. That's what I was looking for. All right, in this particular one, who would have thought that Australia, I hope you're listening, Thunder Down Under, and New Zealand were going to be the full face of the NWO first? Question mark. I watched this right here, and they're talking about having incoming passenger cards, and later you'll have to be vaccinated before you can come into Australia. So, very interesting kind of thing that they're working on. Yep. So is that a 5-5 on that, Thunder? Definitely you guys already know about this? It's only like 10 seconds behind, so she'll be able to go and tell me. I know that she yes, of course. Oh, wow. Okay. Of course. We head of the snake. Wow. And then again, this was another one. She noticed it too. Has the View changed their name with the political there? They found, UPS found Tucker's mystery package of the papers, suggesting it wasn't stolen by you-know-who. After all, they did a report there. This one right here, he mentioned it tonight that I don't have the video on this because I'd already worked in getting everything together, but where he talked about the thumb drive was separated from the papers, and when they asked for the envelope, they didn't have the envelope. Do you know about this story?
That doesn't make any sense to me, honestly.
Well,
how does it get separated, you know?
Okay. Here's I do know about UPS. I was engaged to a UPS person, and I know how their little system works. But the thing about it is, everything is so computerized. They know exactly where this is, where that is, where this is. So somebody is not saying exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same
I
video,
ship a bunch of packages, and you can just track it every second, basically. Every location it gets to, they scan it, and that's how they keep up with the tracking.
So the thumb drive got separated from the papers, but the envelope's missing. But they said that he was saying that we're going to get, we had a copy of it, but, still, this is what happened. And then he followed it up with, in the video, he was talking about, he knew Hunter. They lived close to each other, and he knew that he had some issues, and why beat him down even more at this point. Does he know more? I think so. I think he knows a lot more. And I think he's been told to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Let us handle this. Be quiet. So, but he did say tonight in the video that the envelope's missing, but they found the papers in the thumb drive. But anybody can do anything with the thumb drive before then. Their excuse was that one of the people working the line, the thumb drive had fallen, and he took it and put it on the desk of, I guess, the supervisor, and it didn't get found until after the report came out that it was missing. It's just too convenient.
Yeah, that all sounds so suspicious to me.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
absolutely.
and the fact that it's being tweeted out by Will Summers, who has been trying to discredit everything for years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows what's really going on?
I don't know. But when you go and look at Fox as a whole, and you watch it in the morning, I'll wait until I get to this particular post. Here's an interesting one that I found. It's like, why does Pelosi have a Ukraine party girl whose parents are connected to the Ukraine military and government on her staff? Shall we look closer, or have a closer look at Paul Pelosi? I'm not going to read that part, but look at his laptop. So it's by the Gateway Pundit. Don't know, but I would just say keep your eyes open on that, because something's getting ready to happen. She is just blowing way too much smoke with having these stimulus, what do you call it, news conferences, and her throwing a letter at Steve Mnuchin and Mnuchin going, pretty much, look, biatch, we've already, spelled it out. We've done this. What's the holdup? You know what we've agreed to, but now you're playing this game. And she plays a lot of games. Do you agree on that one?
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, it's like that's why they tried to impeach Trump on Ukraine. All these people were, neck deep in all this stuff in Ukraine. I mean, Pelosi had her son there. Mitt Romney had a relative there. All these people had relatives in Ukraine getting all these corrupt deals through various companies, and they're just trying to project it onto Trump, as they do.
Absolutely. And this one right here, I had shared this video last night on the Tiger Network, and the Go Trump G. Keeley, she went and this is the actual video that they were playing on or at these rallies, and somebody had posted it. I don't remember if it was him or not, but somebody had posted it and they pulled it offline. And it was like, wait a minute, why did you pull this down? So I have a link for the Torah, and I'm going to play it on, well, let me think here. It's got music. I have a link on the Torah that you can go and look at to go and check it out. Because I've done really good on staying online. All right. Okay. Donald Trump, our hearts are with the people of France. America stands with our oldest ally in this fight. These radical Islamic terrorist attacks must stop immediately. No country, France or otherwise, can long put up with it. And I think that he was talking about the beheading, if I'm not mistaken, that happened. And it's just craziness.
I do have something to mention about that. Like,
okay.
Macron came out and made a statement like something like, you can draw the image of Prophet Muhammad, right? He just randomly made that statement.
Okay.
And why would he do that? I mean, that he knows that would only enrage any Muslims in the country. It's like, I honestly feel like he's trying to instigate these attacks. And, now they've brought in a massive police force to keep the country, like, locked down and in this, like, police grid type thing. And I don't know. I know what Macron's connected to, and he's a very suspicious character. And just the fact that he would come out and make that statement. That statement was made right before all of this.
Yeah, he knows something. Or,
well, I think he's trying to instigate Islam to do things like this. Therefore, they can bring in more of a lockdown, police state type of situation, because they're scared of the Yellow Vest protests rising up again, because those were huge right until this event, until the pandemic.
Yeah.
It kind of shut all of that down.
This is true. I mean, you're exactly right on that one. And even instigating, I still think that there's, I don't know how to explain this. Anything that they can, I know this is going to sound weird, but maybe it isn't going to sound weird. I don't want to see the video footage kind of thing. But what they have shown, more so, is like 2 years ago, kind of. I think it was 2 years ago when the guy had the machete, or the narwhal tusk.
Oh yeah.
You remember?
That's crazy.
But that,
yeah, I do remember that.
You remember that? It's like,
Yeah, my girlfriend's kid was obsessed with narwhals at the time, and
yeah,
it was like all this big thing in middle school. They're all making fun of narwhals, and all of a sudden somebody attacked someone with a narwhal tusk on a bridge, and I was like, "What is this?"
yeah. So this is what it reminds me of. Um, it's almost like, let's put a FF out there to add on to everything else that is going on. It's look here, not there. So that's where it took me. But I also know biblically, in times this kind of stuff is written about. So it's like I'm here, both sides on that one. So.
Well, and the people that made the attack that beheaded these people in the church, they just made it into France on like a boat from, I believe it was somewhere in Africa.
Okay.
And because I was reading about all of this right before I came on here.
Okay.
And Macron made that statement about how it's okay to draw the Prophet Muhammad. And it's like, why would he randomly make that statement? None of it made any sense to me. And the fact that they had just gotten there, it was almost like an instigation statement.
Got it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to that one part with going the FF. And I can't say what FF is, but I know you know what.
I understand.
Yeah. So, and that's what we have to look out for, too. So, here we go. Just in. President Trump says, we are going to have a very big stimulus package. Okay. This was right after, if you look at the time that they posted this was right after Pelosi had her little fit. Here, holding up the letter that she sent, which, by the way, if you're not familiar with it, she sent the letter just after midnight, and Steve read about it in the press. So, sent it to the office and sent a copy to the press. So, that's why he was pissed with his reply, because she's playing games. She's making it out like, oh no, he just stopped talking, blah, blah, blah. And they've been talking for 45 straight days. And then they, they're taking it as give and take is what it's supposed to be, but it's not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's where that is. And then we have War Machine. Fun fact, there is no Hubble telescope in space. As usual, it's a lie. Sorry, wakey wakey. And then they have this video where, it's showing you all these things and how the galaxy looks like the pumpkin. And I posted on the Tiger Network, the Tor3.com. If you go and look, there is a video there that has a special video where somebody's getting off of a ladder and says, "One small step for man," and then this light comes down and these people crawl out, and it's like, I guess you want me to do it again, so it's like, that's funny. That, to me, that's funny because, yeah.
One of the most eye-opening things for me in the last few years has been how many lies they tell about, space or just the makeup of this universe. And that has really blown my mind over the last few years. And
we can't solve world hunger, but we can send a spaceship or a satellite through the whatever they want to call it,
Yeah.
And we're spinning around how many miles an hour? We haven't flown off yet?
My favorite is they talk about global warming and how, like, we're all about to die, like the planet's dying. But then at the same time, they're talking about how, we can go to Mars and terraform it and make it look like Earth. And I'm like, okay, if you can do that, then why can you not just tweak Earth a little bit? You know, it's like it just doesn't make any sense what these people say.
That or the scientists that have said, oh, we've lost our directions to go to the moon. We can't go to the moon.
Well, they say we don't have Werner von Braun was like the ultimate, and he had all of the knowledge, and we just can't replicate anything he does.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yeah,
okay, sure. And
no, but you can come up with these awesome
Braun's
pictures, and you can see sometimes if you ever watch the live feeds, which I have just for giggles, and actually watch the world spinning in one direction, and then all of a sudden it spins the other direction from the same angle. I'm like, okay, wait a second, we didn't just stop in midstream and go the other way. That just doesn't happen. But when you talk to somebody about that, they get really like, oh, you're kooky. You're one of the flat earthers, aren't you? You're this, you're that. And I'm like,
I told someone, NASA came out and said, we got big moon news coming. And I told a bunch of people that I know, I'm like, oh, I guarantee you they find water on the moon. And then, of course, a few days later, that's exactly what they said. And I'm like, yeah, it's because they're just putting this out there to keep the lie going.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's hard to talk about this stuff, honestly. I never really try to bring it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to share that because, it's too funny. And earlier today, I tried to share a particular link on the Tiger Network, and here's what happened. It's like, we have this where we can copy the link and send it, and I tried to send it to Twitter, and it said this page was not working. So I did it for a while, and it would never let that particular video, which was a video that it was a video that was taken down from YouTube. I mean, I eventually watched the video when it went live here, but I couldn't share it on Twitter. So I don't know what's up with that, but there have been some really quirky kind of stuff going on. Here's one that says nice ride, and then it is a little video of a really sporty car with a picture of Trump on the front if you want to go and check that out. Biden's secrets, and this is, who this is, what is it, OAN? They have I don't know if it's still up there. I'm not even going to try and look to see, but they have been very bold since they were able to go into the press room. They didn't get access to the press room for a long time.
Well, I find it funny every time Trump calls on her, she's always standing in the back like she just snuck in the room. I always laugh
right?
whenever I saw that. I've been saying for a while now that I think she is going to be the one that asks the ultimate, question about who is a certain Anon, because that's what everyone's been waiting on.
Well, I mean, they've been tossing stuff around, but they toss it around in a negative way. It's not the question that we've all been waiting for. Right.
Who is? It's always like, do you disavow this certain movement that believes they're satanic pedophiles or whatever,
Right.
They try to frame it in a certain way.
I'm surprised that she hasn't asked that question yet, actually.
I think they're waiting. I think they're waiting till after the election, honestly, but...
And you're probably right on that. Then, of course, they've got this, it's not the Russians exposing Joe, it is his son's former business partner. And this is another one of those, you can go to and check out. I'm just not going to play it because it's just too long. This right here is scary to me because of the language. I am not going to put it on, but they have how do I say it? I mean, okay, I'm gonna go in quotes. Where else in history have you seen Jews violently removed from a neighborhood? End quote. So it is from what I gathered in the video, the Jews are being asked to leave very violently by people of color.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a a lot of this stuff is being set up to be taped, because how else are you going to have those videos going at the right place at the right time? I do believe that. This is a fairly long video also, where it says the media silence and lack of reporting about the pay to play is ridiculous. She's very surprisingly very firm with her statements in that interview. And then there you go, the Wicked Witch of the West. That is, my mother will not let me say her name in her house, but yet she called me today, and it was so funny. She said, okay, what's going on with that Nancy? I haven't seen her in a while. Well, they're not putting her on mainstream media as often as they are on YouTube every time. And she's like, she's up to something. I know she is. And I'm like, yeah, she is.
I love how she wears a mask like all
yeah.
the time in these press conferences. It's just it's hilarious. Enjoy the show, right? I mean, I just laugh at this stuff at this point.
She's wearing a mask now because she was busted, because, you know, she openly admitted that she was, what was it? She was set up at the hairdressers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but it's like when you're at these press conferences, you know, there's no one around. You can at least take it off to talk.
Yeah.
You know, there's no one near you.
Or she wore, I don't even remember what color it was, but she was touched. I bet you she touched it 30 times because the bands around her ears had gotten too loose, so it kept coming down to her nose, and then she'd pick it back up, and it was all crooked. And I'm like, somebody give her a medical mask. I'm sure that they have them in the White House. You know, you don't have to be designer, color coordinated, fashion girl, whatever.
My favorite was when Biden pulled down his mask, coughed in his hand, and he put his mask back up. That it just made me laugh so hard. I'm like, as much as these people harp on the mask, you know, you would think that they would at least have good mask etiquette. But they don't whatsoever.
No, they don't. And the fact that see, now I have to be careful on how I ask this question and how you respond, because of your part-time job that you have, other than the other ones that are behind you. I have seen so many empty emergency rooms that...
Well... I mean, I can explain that. I mean, I work at a psych hospital, so it's not like a medical facility.
Gotcha.
But it is very funny because you wouldn't even know there's a pandemic going on there unless everyone was wearing a mask.
Right.
That's just really what it is.
Yeah.
You know, they don't... All the beds are full. It's not like they're at half capacity or something.
Right.
So there's people, you know, all over each other. But... I mean, I call the mask a grooming process. Yep. You know, you have to wear it or else you don't know it's still going on.
And there's quite a few people that, even though we have been told that we need to wear a mask before we go in the grocery store. I mean, my daughter, before she took her new job, which I'm sure she'll have to wear a mask that job too, but it became part of the uniform at Food Lion, where it actually has Food Lion on the mask. You know, it's like, dang. You know,
I found it really funny. You know, after BLM burnt down the Target in Minneapolis, Target had these shirts that were like pro BLM, and it said "I can't breathe" on it. Yeah. And then they were all wearing a mask, and I just found it so ironic and hilarious. They all have these shirts on that say "I can't breathe," and then they have masks on.
Yeah. And it's amazing, because when you think about it and you get down to the nitty gritty, those are riots. Okay. I actually saw a video of somebody with a washing machine. I'm sorry, but you
saw that today.
I'm like, you stole a washing machine. Okay. How you gonna wheel that all the way home? Those things are not light.
No,
Just,
he had it on a dolly, and he was just like running with
yeah,
this washing machine on a dolly, and I'm like, okay, this is not about any sort of racial injustice. You
it
know, they're
is
just
not.
trying to destabilize the streets and cities, and it's very frustrating. Like everything in Philadelphia over the last week or so has been completely insane. I mean, they've looted Nike stores and taken everything out of there,
Yeah.
literally everything. And I just laugh at the Nike stores because I'm like, y'all are helping push this, so you know
Even
you
when they
deserve it
did
at
it
least.
around, when they did it around here, they only hit, well, they hit the Target, the Walmart, a special name brand that's in a shopping center. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just more expensive clothing. My grandkids would be able to. Rue 21, I think, is the name of it.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, what in the world? And then at one point in time, we went to go to the Walmart, and they had buggies all up on the inside, people on the outside. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, well, we heard rumor they're coming back. And I'm like, this is sad. You know, they did it with
Yeah.
all of them. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but it became a political, the funeral was a political bunch of garbage. You know? It just was. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched it just to see, you know, are they going to go and do this again? They pretty much destroyed the mall. And I'm like, this makes no sense to me. This is not going to win you any coming together. It's just dividing us even more. So, all right, I'm
Well,
off.
that's what they want ultimately. So.
It's just one of those things. And this one right here, it's like, watch her eyes, what her eyes beheld in Florida. And it's an interesting video. This, there are too many times where I have seen her with her laughter. It's an evil kind of laughter. And even Biden said in a speech, compared her to being smart as a devil. I'm like, what? Okay, that didn't make any sense. But I don't know. That there's some weird stuff going on there. I know that you guys have heard that that the president's reelection fund, the hackers stole $2.3 million when they took down his site. Maybe you haven't heard it. I'm hoping that they're able to follow the money and nab whoever did it. I don't know if they will be able to or not. Ninja Stunts, if you don't follow Ninja, you need to follow Ninja because he is on it with the videos. This is from earlier today, yesterday now. In France, Notre Dame church knife attack. A woman beheaded by a terrorist. So he is always on all of these things, and even he shared a post that had the rules for Twitch TV changing it, saying that they weren't going to allow any more of those. And just in that evening after he posted that, I shared another one because it was like, this is on Twitch right now, and it says that they're BLM in the title. How are they not taking it down? They're only taking certain ones down, but the big, huge accounts are staying up, I guess, until after the election, so that can fear, the fear can be driven into people. I encourage you to watch this. If you have not seen this video, it's awesome. It's just awesome. This guy he's awake for sure, and you just got to go and check it out. I thought this was cute. 2020 Trump pushing snowflakes aside. That was like a cute kind of little thing to share. Ted Cruz, he is if you saw him in the video against we'll just say Jack, you will know that he's pretty hot about it. And this, they suspended the U.S. border chief over a pro-wall post. It's getting ridiculous. So I'm hoping that they're going to be able to do something about that. This is another video where she does sound teetotal gone. 3 sheets to the wind in this one. And if you have not gone and seen or seen the stuff about China, I think it was in last night's Night Owl News, the 3 red things like that having to do with China. And I'll just say go back and look at that. And here, this is what I was talking about earlier in regards to how Fox is set up. It's like in the morning, and he's just changed. I can't remember his name to save my life, but he has just changed. He's just there. He used to have this spark about him. He doesn't have that spark anymore. She's got this dullness. He's got a dullness about him. It's almost like they don't get to be who they are. Their spirit's gone. That's how I feel. But when you watch, it's like as you're watching, the more left it leans until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, then it leans right. And you've got that up until after Hannity. That's how I feel about that. But it definitely has had they've lost their happy place. All 3 of these guys used to be like super, super happy. He barely smiles anymore unless there's the jokes that he would make made people smile. Yes, go ahead.
I think what was very telling to me about those 3 was about a year ago when they were doing an interview with Trump, right? Okay. And they all had a frown on their face the entire time. And then all of a sudden, they all had smiles. It was very strange. It was almost like a producer in their ear said, "Smile, you look angry," you know?
Right.
And they all just put on these giant smiles, and they all look super fake. And I always call Brian Kilmeade Brian Shillmeade because I just never liked him personally. I
couldn't remember his name.
Something was off about him.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name, but he used to crack these little jokes and stuff. And I noticed that whenever I would see I would say over the past year, there's not as many little clips of them as there used to be. But what I found is he had a book, the other one had a book, had a cookbook, and she had a book. It's like, okay, but they lost their spark. They don't have any spark anymore. It's weird. It's weird. They used to have a spark. They don't have a spark anymore. And what I was saying earlier is the fact that when you're watching in the morning, it's all left leaning until you get about 5 o'clock. And then it goes right leaning, So I can tolerate at night, even though you see that there are moments where you just know that they're being told what to do, how to say it, all that. So that was
and Sundays it's not watchable on Sundays.
Oh no, I can't watch it on the weekends.
I mean, that's when Chris Wallace is like doing his thing, and
the only time I can watch it on the weekends is if there's a specific thing with Judge Jeanine. Is she still on there?
I think she's Saturday, but yeah,
okay.
I think she's still on there.
And then I like Greg. I like Greg.
Yeah, I love Greg. I love Greg.
He is a hoot. He's a hoot. I like watching him.
I remember there was a moment when Trump was saying, like, we got Greg. And he was like, kept bragging about how we got Greg Gutfeld. He's on our side now. And I remember that moment with Greg.
Yeah.
Because he was like a never Trumper at the beginning.
Yes, he was.
And then it was almost like he switched. And it was almost like to be honest, it almost like felt like he was following our favorite Anon.
Yes.
Because he switched on a dime, and I remember there was an episode with him and Tyrus. I think that was his name.
Yep.
And Tyrus was making fun of him, being like, "Greg, what's gotten into you? You look like a Bond villain." And like,
Yeah.
do you remember that? Because
Yep.
he was wearing all black, and you could tell Greg was just like ready to go to war, and
Yep.
it was very telling to me.
Oh
Yeah, I
he's
love Greg. I
dropping.
think he's hilarious.
He's dropping bombs all boom, boom, boom. I mean, there was a video today with him and was it Jesse? Jesse Waters was saying, you know, there's your boom for you or something. You know, I'm like, what? Okay. So, yeah.
Jesse's another one that has been dropping little, hints, little things out there. Those
And
two,
he-
I do love them.
Now Jesse, I like him a lot. I've noticed since he got married, he's more I don't know. It's his attitude has
When
changed
did he get
a little
married?
bit. He got married. I want to say it was before COVID. I think it was before COVID.
Okay.
Rona. Thank you, Rona.
Rona.
I gotta remind myself too. I looked down and seen drop frames. I'm like, Dad, got it. All right. Here's the video that I was talking about earlier. That was that I couldn't go and upload, but it has a lot of stuff in it, and I can't play it. I gotta figure out how to go and fix that so that I can play it with the Discord. But this is really, as you can see, it's Anon is 100% coming from the Trump administration. And he goes through each and every coinky dink, as some might say. Let's see. He's friends with Andrew. Really? Huh. Okay,
Yeah, I've been
then.
watching a ton of Andrew Breitbart videos recently. Like, that guy was just so on point.
Yes.
He was so great.
Yes, absolutely. And a part of me, I I love that little snippet, little video war. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. And it makes me
I've seen that like 5 times in the last week.
oh man. And it's almost like, part of me wants to believe that he's still around somewhere. He's not
Oh
gone
my God,
yet.
I've been having that same thought. It's so crazy you mentioned that. I was telling my girlfriend, I was like,
Yeah.
how crazy would it be if he's behind the scenes working with our favorite Anon? It's just a fantasy dream,
Yeah.
but
But you
it's
never
just the things that
the thing
You never
about
know.
it, yeah, the thing about it is, I'm not alone in that thought process. Just by you going and saying that, I'm not alone in it, and I don't fear. I don't have a fear of saying that out loud. Used to, I'd care what people say, but right now, I don't care. I mean, a lot of people don't believe that that Junior is around, but I've done some deep dives, and I've shared
I mean,
in this channel before. The biggest
I'll
one.
just say quickly what I think. I don't think, I think he's personally still alive. I don't know, but
Right.
I know that our Anon's movement was never meant to be focusing on him. I mean, that's not the point of it. We weren't. I was around when all this first started, and I remember the first post by the person named R that people were reading into and thought it was Junior and all this stuff, and I think that was like the bad actors trying to deflect us onto him to try to, divide the movement and everything. We
Right.
were never supposed to know him, like know anything about that.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, to me, it's like the greatest story ever told. If he's
Yep.
still alive and out there, and then he comes out in the end, it's just like a fantasy dream of so many people.
Right.
I mean, I try not to talk about it because I know that that's not the reason behind this movement. This
Right.
movement is supposed to, break apart Obamagate and just be able to share information. It's all about that stuff, not about like finding these dead people that are out there.
Right. And I get what you're saying on that one. Is I was in a position where it's like, oh man, that can't possibly B. And then I'm like, well, okay, let me go down this rabbit hole. And I started looking through the FBI vault. And there's a connection between Joe Biden and Junior. And as I'm looking through what's not redacted, you know how you go to court, there's usually exhibit A, exhibit B, blah, blah, blah. Well, there were 2 exhibits in the documentation. One was the letter and one was the envelope, and they were labeled Q1 and Q2. That sort of like, why in the world would you label? There's nothing else in the evidence. You straight go to Q1 and Q2? So that was sort of interesting to me.
Yeah. What really got me to believe all of that was the voice that is in the Plan to Save the World video that I know all of us have seen.
Yeah.
There's a clip from right after Junior died where someone calls into a local news station.
Yep.
And it is literally the exact same voice. The same, like...
Yep.
I don't even know what you call it. Auto-tuned or whatever voice.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
When I heard that, I was like, okay, there's too many weird connections here for something to not be going on here.
Yeah.
But...
and, I mean, there's a lot of things that surround it. And you can go this way, that way, a bunch of ways down the rabbit hole. But it's a nice, pleasant thought to have. I'm not going to... I'm not going to go nuts if it doesn't ever happen or come out that it is. But it is a pleasant thought to... It's just a pleasant thought. I'm going to leave it at that. It's just a pleasant thought to be able to have.
It's like the greatest story ever told. That's the way I see it.
You go. Now
this guy is looking for vengeance against his daddy,
Yeah.
Fakes his death. All this, it's just such a great story if it ends up becoming true.
Oh, that would be awesome. This one is bat crap crazy. Absolutely. I watched a video of her and being on The View, and she's talking about her Trump derangement syndrome and how she used to treat people, and I'm like, she has just lost her ever-loving mind. That's all I got to say on that one. I'm going to continue to go on. General Flynn wrote something today, and it just hit me. So I'm sharing that. Mr. President, in these final days, America remains the bulwark defending against a war declared by the unleashed and dark forces of socialism. Place your trust in the instrument of divine providence. We the people do, and we support you with our prayers and votes. Isaiah 41:10. And it just I'm proud of him for remaining in his faith. If anybody can be proud of another human being, his family and himself were put through pure hell. And for him to still remain solid in his faith is it's awesome. That's what I'm going to put on that one.
Yeah, I love that. I read that this morning, and
yeah,
just great.
It just gives you little God goosebumps. Now this one right here, Praying Medic said Twitter suspended the account of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which I wrote about earlier, for praising the progress on the border wall, saying it was hateful conduct. You can go and look that up if you want to, but here's the thing that I noticed, and I think I said something to, this afternoon on Jim's show, or James's show with Jim in it. This right here looks so CGI. This is too dull to actually show it, but if you go back and you look at the video of him and Cruz, that doesn't look like a real window to me. But I keep my eyes open for things like that.
I don't know what's going on with Dorsey. He looks crazy.
Yeah, he
that
does.
Beard. Last I saw him was on that Rogan podcast a little while ago and I don't know. He just looks.
Somebody was saying that he had the Gitmo look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that does
Yeah,
not.
I do.
Yeah. I don't know, but you know
We
that.
see a lot of these people like Kamala.
And Biden, they look like they have, their face tucked back on them. It's like, I'm starting to believe that these people aren't even them, honestly. But
Yep, that's what they were saying about the googly guy that I think it was Santa Surfing. She did one of the pictures and did something, manipulated the picture, and she goes, "This nose isn't even real. It doesn't look real.
Yeah.
It's not the same person." So, we are
Well, that's
watching
why
a
when I
movie.
look back at
yeah, I love Santa Surfing, by the way. I've been trying to, print shirts for her. I watch all of her videos. She just cracks me up with all her little squirrel, clips
Yep.
and everything. And she gets so, like, laughing and everything. She's just such a great energy that I love watching her. But you see these people and they just
Yeah.
don't look the same as they did 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, you could say they've aged, but
No, there's
I
more
don't
to there's so much stress, and there's no adrenochrome anymore. But I'm gonna digress and keep on moving on that one. This was a cute little video, and you could go and look at it. It's the cousin to a squirrel. It's a little prairie dog, I guess a rescue prairie dog. He's just sitting there, just riding along. And then this video of the Air Force One departing, awesome. And here you go. This is that video I told you where they have the booms. So I highly recommend you go in and see that, because this is like, he's just got this little smirk on his face. He's just, he knows Jesse's going in for the kill. Jesse's going in for the kill. It's like, and
I do love the dynamic of the five. It's like Jesse and
yeah.
Greg. They're always trying to slip stuff in, and then the other three, whoever it is, they
this
just
one
seem
right
like
here,
the chills to
I
me,
sort of sometimes feel sorry for his mentality of how he's like in such deep denial of reality.
Juan, yeah.
Yeah. And he can be very,
It's just a joke.
honestly.
it's like he can be very ugly, very ugly toward his coworkers. I'm just saying.
Well, the way I see it is like he's the one reading the talking points, and he's trying to argue those talking points. And Jesse and Greg are always pushing back on him, just making him look so ridiculous. And the thing is, it's like everyone on leftist or whatever you want to call it, MSM, they're all saying the same talking points that Juan is. So you don't get that counter narrative. And so when Jesse and Greg are pushing back on him, Juan just looks so ridiculous. Because,
That's
when
true.
the truth is pushed against this narrative they're trying to push, it just looks stupid. It really does.
I get it. I get it.
Did you
and
see the
this-
clip of Kennedy there? She was interviewing Rudy Giuliani. Did
Yes.
you see that clip?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's-
She called Rudy Giuliani Christopher Steele of the right, kind of. And
I don't
was
understand. It's like, okay, she's been going down this path of not going too left, not going too right for a long time. She had her moments whenever she was on what was the name of that show? What was the name of that show? I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was like a bunch of girls and one oddball that they had.
Outnumbered.
That's it. Whenever she was on that show, she leaned more right than left. And now she's just, I'm like, what? Okay, you've been hanging out with Juan too long. I'm like, that's the only thing that I can think of. But It is
Well,
what
the
it
way
is.
I see it is like a lot of these people, they try to play the middle ground. Like that's what they're doing for their masters or whatever. You know, they're trying to play like they're the neutral party in all of this. And the closer and closer we get to the election, they're kind of showing their true colors in
Yeah.
terms of they're trying to push people away from Trump or whatever. And yeah, it's hard to watch a lot of Fox programming now, but.
Yeah, like I said, the only time I can watch it is after 5. You know, I can handle it after 5, but during
Tucker's
the
great.
daytime.
That's all I say.
Tucker's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's got the highest rated show. It's like they should be bowing down and thanking him. Period. But they treat him like crap. I mean, it's only a matter of time before he goes, you know what? I've had enough. Because he can make so much. Never mind. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to go there because that's on him. Okay, now this is the one that hopefully that's the last one that I have. There was I try to go through and check out the comments, and this is a little snip from looking at my YouTube, where it showed for once they didn't mess with Jim. But CNET, where it was, this was there, that was there, this was there, all of this was taken down. When they were talking about censoring, which I thought was ironic. Here they are they don't want anybody to see these testimony things. You know, it's like, really? Can you be any more obvious? So, all right, I'm gonna look right fast in the room. It says here, people are not talking well about surfing. I've seen and heard, and I'm one of those people. I make my own kind of thing with that, and I'm not going to diss her. I think that I think she's a really cool person. I think that I get enjoyment, as Al said, watching her, because she has that happy, and the fact that she has Sammy the squirrel. Well, she's my buddy and my friend. I actually have a squirrel, which you can see in the top. I try to go and have him in my stream. You know, the little where he has a cross in the background. You know, he's been sick for a while, but he is just, God has blessed me with almost, let's see, in July it'll be 8 years with that little buddy. And as long as God has him here, I will spoil him and treat him the best way that I can. And he's made his debut on the channel before. But he's a rescue squirrel. So, is there anything else that you want to go and talk about before I wrap this puppy up?
No, just check out my website. I'll show the shirt that I'm wearing right now. I just finished printing before I came on here.
Okay, cool.
And it was a great. You gave me that idea before we started to send one of these to Flynn.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's the best idea I've had anyone give me in a long time. But this one right here, I'm trying to get the shot.
Oh,
here.
love it.
It says it's a digital soldier, United States of America. It's like the president's seal, but it's kind of got a bunch of
Other stuff on
little
it. Yep,
things.
yep. I see it. I absolutely, I love it. I love it. If you can send me a picture of that in,
Yeah, I haven't listed it on my website.
So, and I'm going to mention this because I know a lot of people weren't in when I first mentioned it when we got in, but the website I used, they stopped me from using their payment processor, and they said that it was because I was selling products that violated their terms of service. And then I was going through the terms of service, and they have a specific clause in there that says, like, no products that are related to political or social campaigns, which is like the most vague thing where you can just take people down however you want to. So currently I can only accept PayPal payments, and I'm working on, getting a different credit card processor right now, but who the hell knows? I might have to
even with
build a whole new
PayPal,
website.
even with PayPal, there is an option to use a credit card using PayPal, where you don't have to have an account. I would look into that.
I'll have to look into that. I mean, I know that through my website, you click on it and it's like, pay with PayPal, and then you have to click on it and it connects to your account from there. So I don't know if you can go around like having an actual PayPal account, but
it's just crazy. I have had to, like, I didn't want to pay through my PayPal account, but there was an option. I don't know if they still have it. Maybe they have gotten rid of it because they have changed. But where you could go on certain sites and it says PayPal, but then it has credit card, and you use your credit card through PayPal to go and do what it is that you do. That's the only one that I can think of. Okay. You got that? What is your website?
I'm typing in p2pprinting.com.
Yeah.
And it says, oops, remove web address. Okay. Well, p2pprinting.com. That's what the website.
Oh, you're not a mod, so you couldn't put it in there. Right?
Well, just go there, buy, if you can, buy some, 8kun merch or whatever. I'd love to sell as much 8kun merch to, raise money for Jim and everything, but it's just been so difficult. Like, I've started trying to sell it on Amazon, and it's impossible on Amazon. It's like they just bury me behind all these, like, cheap China products and everything, and
right.
I don't know. Very difficult.
Now, eBay?
I do have it on eBay. It's very difficult because eBay and Amazon, these websites, they're just flooded with like cheap product. Like, all my stuff is made in America, and that's like really what I've strived to do, have everything made in America. And all these like websites, these big commerce platforms, they're just flooded with like $10 shirts that are, our favorite Anon type shirts, and my shirts get buried. And I'm starting to wonder if the deep state, or whatever you want to call them, is pumping out Q shirts, on their on eBay or Amazon or whatever. They want to control the movement, right?
Right.
And I think one way they want to do that is to control the merch. They don't want to see people running around everywhere with shirts on and everything. So they try to make it so difficult. Like, everything I do is like they're trying to stop me from selling anything, I swear.
I would also, this is another suggestion, is if you're not already doing it, reach out to go to the Santa Surfing and see if you can work something out to be on her website. It's an option.
We've exchanged a few emails because I've sent her shirts. Like, I've kind of sent some shirts to people that I like, that I watch.
Okay.
And I sent her a shirt, and I don't know. I mean, we kind of exchanged a few emails. She was looking for someone to make shirts for her, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen her selling shirts, so I don't think she's gone with anyone else. But
try again.
I don't know. It's just,
I would say try again.
I'm gonna make sure. It's been like a month, so.
Yeah, I mean, I know that she's got.
I'm actually surprised they didn't boot her either from YouTube. I thought.
I think I think that. One of her accounts got suspended for 7 days, and she was on her backup account for today. If I heard her right, that's what she said today when I watched the show. But she got really emotional, and then she had to back herself back up. But she's like,
I know they've like suspended her Twitter accounts and stuff like that, but
yeah, that's just,
I'm hoping after the election, all of this censorship stuff will just start to die off. it's like they're really trying to ramp it up because they're doing whatever they can to try to push, Biden past the finish line. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping
I'll
it
be
all kind
glad
of
when
stops.
yeah, I'll be glad when it's done and over with, and I know it's going to get worse before it gets better, but my wish and prayer is that he gets some free electricity out of the deal, free internet out of the deal, and peace. We just got to keep loving on one another for sure. That's what I'm looking for.
That's what I've been pushing to so many of my friends. I'm like, listen, y'all have to back Trump. Like, these are the potential things we could get.
Yeah.
Like free energy, free internet, all this stuff.
The
I'm like,
cure for cancer.
you just vote for him just for the chance that you might get that. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but just vote for him because that might happen.
Oh no, you've gotten 3 out of 3 today, where you were saying that you said it beforehand and it happened. That's
it's been constant.
pretty pathetic right there, if you ask me. All right, before we get out of here, I gotta go and let everybody know God loves you and I love you too, and we're gonna go and close in prayer. So let's do that. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the many, many blessings that you give us each and every day. I ask a hedge of protection over everyone who has joined us today or would join us in another watching of this video, Father God. I ask that you touch the hearts of your people, and I ask that everyone that is listening, Father God, will take time to spend more time with you. And remember that a prayer is just a conversation with you. And I ask it all in your heavenly name. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen and amen. All right. So we're going to get ready to get out of here, guys. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it that you are a part of this wonderful thing that we call a movement. And Al, thank you so much for being on my show. I so appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
You rock.
I'm up at this time every night, so, if you ever need me to come back on, I'll be around.
All right. That sounds like a plan. I'm sure that people in the chat room would want that too. You're welcome to come to the Discord. That's the after hours conversation that we have, which will be starting in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, I'm looking for my night owl. Hang on a second. I got to talk at the same time as going and doing this. So this is where it gets dicey, where I have to find a button and talk at the same time. So until next time, which will be in the morning, for the scripture of the day at 8 o'clock. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful and blessed evening.